Welcome back into the Ohio State Football Report. I am Tom Downey. Coming up on today's show, we will talk Ryan Day's future, the rumors out there of teams trying to steal Jeremiah Smith away from Ohio State, and some minor transfer portal recruiting updates, including Devin Sanchez joining the team before the Rose Bowl. Now, we will be live for the Rose Bowl, the CFP quarterfinal. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/GoBucks. We'll be live for a post-game show and, in theory, be live for the CFP semifinals as well. Let's talk Ryan Day. Sounds like his job is mostly safe. Alex Gilman over at Letterman Row writing this. I have been strong in my opinion that despite all the noise following the Michigan game, that the most likely scenario for Ohio State is for Ryan Day to be the head football coach next season. Following a win against Tennessee in the first round of the CFP, and talking to a number of big-hitting sources close to the athletic and university administration, I'm tripling down on that statement. To be honest, I don't think it was really a question on their end, even before the massive win over the Volunteers. Right now, the only scenario in which I see Day not coaching the 2025 Ohio State Buckeyes is if the head man walks away himself. I cannot sit here and say that I should have doubt that that's not a possibility, but I very much think it's unlikely. If I'm right, which I think is an odds-on favorite outcome, Day is back on the sidelines next year, trying to lead Scarlet and Gray to another national title. I don't think a lot of us would be surprised if Ryan Day returned. Disappointed? Maybe. Upset? Possibly. Surprised? Probably not. Now, regardless, if Ohio State loses against Oregon, that noise is going to be there. And if it's like a narrow, hard-fought loss, kind of like the last time they played Oregon, that's one thing. I will say this. Emotion's a thing in a lot of these conversations. OSU gets the doors beat off them by Oregon, which they shouldn't. But if they do, that's going to ramp up the noise again. And either way, the pressure is very much going to be on in 2025. It is going to be a big, high expectation, or we're going to be looking to fire you again type of thing. Of course, you also should let the game play out. If Ohio State beats Oregon, which I hope happens, problem solved. Day's back, whether you like it or not. He's here. And if they lose, well, we'll have that conversation then. So, predictions, early predictions. Well, maybe not early, but latest predictions. Will Ryan Day be back as the Ohio State football head coach next season? It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Y for yes, N for no. Let's talk Jeremiah Smith. Letterman Row also reporting that several teams are tampering, quote-unquote, not tampering, but not tampering with the legal definition being murky these days, offering hefty NIL deals for superstar wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. Here's what Alex wrote. It's no secret that while tampering is not allowed in college football, there's clearly back-channeling happening with agents across the sport when it comes to players and NIL in an effort to get said players to consider making a move via the transfer portal. From multiple sources, I've heard that there are a few programs trying to do just that with OSU star freshman receiver Jeremiah Smith. Haven't heard an exact number, but I've heard some teams are willing to offer in the high seven figures over the duration of his college career for Smith to make a move to a different program. We'll talk more about this in depth in just a second, but today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is focused on goodness this holiday season. It means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better. Also, make sure you're using the Game Time Picks feature. It makes getting tickets for live events even easier. It filters out the fluff to only show you the incredible deals on great seats. Don't waste time searching through thousands of different tickets and whatnot. It's curation. Designed to save you more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Maybe you can't go all the way out to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl. Maybe you want to go to a Blue Jackets game instead. Make sure you use the all-in pricing feature. It shows total cost up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Download the Game Time app, create your account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today because time is it? It's game time. Now, back to the Jeremiah Smith conversation. I fully buy there's back channel dealings that Jeremiah Smith may or may not even be fully aware of, frankly, because it's all back channel crap. I buy it. I think it happens a lot for the biggest, the best, the brightest players because everyone wants the good players. That's how football works. And a lot of the people involved in the NIL stuff, they're just fans. And sometimes fans have crazy expectations of, we'll simply go get him to come play for us. That doesn't mean it's working. That doesn't mean that Ohio State is even remotely in the possibility range of outcomes of losing Jeremiah Smith. It also might be the, hey, if he does decide to leave, just FYI, this is available for this guy. Something does tell me Miami's involved here, by the way, given what happened. It is recruitment. I'm sure Miami's let it be known that they'll offer big money. Then again, I don't know why you would leave Ohio State for Miami and a worse quarterback room and probably a worse head coach and a worse team. I don't see Smith leaving Ohio State. This is, I think, a pretty clear path for him. Play your sophomore season, play your junior season, and then you're off to the NFL. You end up being a top 5 whatever pick after his stupid good season this year, well over 1,000 yards. He's awesome. He is a superstar wide receiver who moves incredibly well for his size, who is probably quarterback proof. I'm sure Julian Sain's going to throw the ball 70 plus times next year. There's no reason to leave. Doesn't make sense. Because he's getting plenty of NIL from Ohio State and that front too. So will Jeremiah Smith be with Ohio State next season? I think the answer is obviously A, but it is democracy focused, so you guys can vote here. A for yes, B for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Let's move to 5-star cornerback Devin Sanchez. He's gonna leave for California today, and we'll get some of those coveted bowl game practices. Now, I will say, the bowl game practices, especially for one-off bowl games, not quite the same it used to be. They're not out in California for as long as they used to be these days. But Devin Sanchez saying on Monday he's going to leave for California, practice on Monday, Tuesday, sideline at the Rose Bowl, then flies home Thursday, and then back to Columbus on Friday, January 3rd, get set up, and then start classes on January 6th. I'm looking forward to taking the next step and getting the experience of being at a bowl game like that. It's one of the most classic bowl games in history. I want to soak it all in. It's not my time yet. Sanchez is going to be counted on significantly for the future of the Ohio State defense. It's a 5-star corner, number 6 overall, number 1 corner, number 3 player in the state of Texas. He is a very, very good cornerback prospect who, you don't see a lot of freshmen playing as much as at certain spots. Corner is a bit of an adjustment level. Like, he's going to be facing a lot better players, even in the Big Ten, than he was in high school, obviously. But I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be a really, really good football player. So what is your excitement level for Devin Sanchez moving forward? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Let me know in the comments of today's show. A couple minor, or I guess one really minor, transfer portal update. Ohio State did not land Josh Thompson. He has committed to LSU. Ohio State did add 2 transfers along the O-line. We'll talk about them in just a second, but they were after Thompson. LSU ends, which I think is actually kind of a surprise LSU got him. Would not have been my guess. I would have guessed one of the more local-ish teams to an extent. So disappointing miss there on OSU for Thompson as he goes to LSU. As of filming, and we'll see how much, if anything, changes, and I think we'll probably do a transfer portal recap video if there's some more updates, and you'll see more players hop in the portal and once the season's over too, so I want to hold off on it. The 5 additions so far: Phillip Daniels coming over from Minnesota, the tackle; C.J. Donaldson, the West Virginia tackle; Idaho State defensive end Logan George; Purdue tight end Max Clare; and Rice offensive tackle Ethan Oninawa. I would guess Daniels, Oninawa are prime candidates to start, if not at tackle, at least one of them moves inside the guard. Maybe look for another interior lineman as well. Donaldson will play probably going to be a committee role, kind of like it was this year, but he'll be involved in the backfield. And Max Clare, the Purdue tight end, will have a pretty big role. George might be more of a rotational piece, but clearly OSU likes him, so we'll see what happens on that front. But those are the 5 transfer portal additions so far, and we'll see if any more come down the pipeline for OSU.